Hi everyone, it's Kika and Balint. We have spent over 2 weeks in our dream destination, French Polynesia. We would like to share our experience, and first starting with Tahiti, an island that is often overlooked, home of the only city in French Polynesia, Papeete, and of course the world famous Teahupoo waves, which is going to host the Olympics in 2024. Let's start! From Europe, French Polynesia is hell of a flight. It takes over 24 hours, we had 2 layovers, New York and in San Francisco, but I will do it anytime again. The experience is very special, starting from the first warm welcome at the airport. We had an early wake up the next day because we had a lot ahead of us. We wanted to start with visiting Papeete, the only city with 30,000 inhabitants. Is there any better place to start than the local food markets? Are you hungry?
Half disgusted, half hungry.
That's every morning how you wake up next to me, right? The food that everyone recommended us is the poisson cru, otaika in local language. It's basically coconut milk, fresh tuna. We really liked it and all the locals are recommending it. Of course, the ocean promenade is beautiful. You have a nice view to the local Morea island. But what we were surprised is about the street dogs and chickens everywhere. That's something that is all over French Polynesia and it's just part of the local vibe. They're all friendly. My second favorite thing to visit is always the Sunday church. I just love this. So after we wanted to discover more the island, we rented a car at the airport, basically the only place where you can rent, from a local company which was much cheaper, and we hit the road to find some beaches and the waterfall. In general, the roads are great over Tahiti. There are a few places that you can only approach by 4x4 that we had to skip. No, I can confidently say that Tahiti has one of the best sunsets in the world. But given we were close to the biggest city, we wanted to go out. To avoid the tourist traps, we had to go through a few dark and shady streets, but it was worth to get some local vibes. Tahiti has 2 parts, Tahiti Nui, the bigger part with more tourists and fancy hotels, and Tahiti Iti, small Tahiti, home of Teahupoo, one of the best waves in the world and with very lush environment where we moved the next day. Tahiti Iti is very chilled. We rented a tree house right next to the corals. Our hosts were the coolest and nicest people. And they were also running tours to Teahupoo, so the next day we joined the trip. We stopped very close to Tahiti to jump into the water for snorkel with beautiful corals and the typical Tahitian blue waters and the Jurassic Park like cool environment around us. Then we headed straight into the jungles through a river where we had a nice trekking. We got some hibiscus to have some rainbow paintings. We found sweetwater eels and then we could just jump in the water in a Tarzan mode. As the swell was small, we decided to come back for the waves on another day. But you remember what I said about the sunset? Again, we had an amazing one, so we decided to go for a kayak tour. According to your host, when there is low tide during night, there is a sandbar which is a perfect spot for an ocean rave. We missed it, but when you are there, maybe you are lucky to join it. The next day we were staying directly in Teahupoo. Finally we had a beautiful day and we continue where we stopped with a nice kayak ride in the beautiful sun. The typical Polynesian vibe. Look at the color of the water and the environment. In the afternoon we decided to take a hike in the beautiful lush environment. Luckily our host was nice enough to actually use their private access to a very beautiful valley.
I'm running as fast as I can in a desperate need of a plan. It's the work of one little man. I'm fading out from the story.
I know. Again the sunset. Finally, we were checking out the wave. The spa was getting bigger and bigger, and more pro surfers, photographers were arriving to the town. The day when we went, it was still not the biggest, but was worth to take a visit with Coco's taxi. If you are not a pro, there are a few intermediate beginner surfer beaches closer to Papeete that we tried. And after the surfer vibe, we went back to close to Papeete to have a last morning dip close to typical hotel before taking our flight. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. The next episode is going to be about Papeete, the most remote society island. No hotels, only a few hundred people live there. It's gonna be a fun one. Join us!